Well, you can see that I put the TCS Keep Alive in position, and I have it soldered up. I've already tested it. It works fine. That holds for about, I would guess, 10 or 20 seconds, something like that. And I'll show you on the diagram here. Earlier I said it hooks up to the W, which is white. That's for 3-wired Keep Alive. This one only needs 2, and so you you solder it to the blue arrow here, the U+, and the black one, ground. So the black wire goes to this, and the blue wire goes to that. And you can see that's what I did. The next operation is going to be headlights, and what I'm going to use is a piece of fiber optic material like that one. And I don't know if you can see it in the image, if it's showing up, but I heated up the tip of it with a soldering iron, and it makes a little convex tip of it, or makes it like a mushroom on the tip, and that will just go into the headlight castings. Okay, here we are back again, and you can see that the headlights are wired in, and what I did here is these little tubes that the headlight bulbs came in had a little extension on the back that I cut off because you can't get the LED through. I may keep these tubes. I was going to. I cut a couple of evergreen styrene tubes here, and I was going to use them. There you go. You can hear the Keep Alive working. Alright, the headlights work, the noises work, everything's working the way it should. As I was running over there, I realized though that if I run classification lights into these tubes here, it won't work because they have to be attached to the shell. Which brings me back to using these white evergreen tubes. I'm going to give it a try. I don't think it's going to work. As you saw earlier, this doesn't like to bend that much. It's going to have to bend about 90 degrees to get into the tube. I'll give it a try. So what I'm going to do is I'll drill 2 holes in the tube here, and I will have to drill out the 2 classification lights, 2 at each end, and see if it works. Before I do that though, I just want to see how these look on with the shell in place. See how the headlights look with the shell in place. So I'm going to put the shell on. Oh, by the way, the Keep Alive, one of the things I remembered as I was picking it up this time, voice of experience, tech tip if you will, be very careful if you have a Keep Alive, do not touch any of the board contacts, because you can cause a short circuit. Guess how I know that? Voice of experience. That's how. Alright, I'm going to attempt to put the shell on here and see how the headlights look. Alright. Alright, I'm going to take it for a test drive. Be right back. Don't know how well that shows on camera, but the top lens on both ends is a little bit dimmer than the bottom. And I don't know if you could hear it or not, but holy smokes, that's about at least half again as loud with the shell on. So I'm guessing that what's happening is the LED is pointing down a little bit on both ends. And how can I minimize that problem? Well, a friend of mine said what he does is he just takes a piece of heat shrink tubing and he puts the heat shrink over the LED and then over the two pieces of fiber optic, and then he heats it up, heats the heat shrink, and that centers it for him. So maybe that's the route I'll try. That precludes me. The more I think about it, the less I like trying to put the working class lights on. I can always drill them out. The other thing I could do is just paint them silver. That would not hurt in the least. If you recall earlier in the video, I say I like to use standardized colors. I use red and white and red and yellow instead of blue and white. And that was just because I'm running low on blue wire. So let's try this again. Does it show up in the light? The top one is half as bright as the bottom, or vice versa. So that's not working. That's not going to work for me. Yeah, if you notice, can you see the blue LED is still lit? That means there's still power getting to the decoder. So be very careful. Don't put your finger across any of the contacts. All right, I'm going to see, first of all, how is this bulb lining up, or the LED lining up with the light casting. Well, it looks like it's pretty much centered on there, if it's in that piece. I'm going to try just shining light through. No, it should be the same. Okay, so what I want is this size heat shrink tubing. I want to cut it off at a 90 because that's crooked. And I want it deep enough for the LED to fit in. Okay, maybe. Now I'm going to double check if that's the smallest size I can use. I think this will work too. Let me try this one. I want the smallest piece of heat shrink. Now plug the daughter board into the Decoder Buddy. It should go right there. And if I'm lucky, the headlights won't pull out. Like that. Roll over. Make sure I'm not pinching any wires here. Something's in the way. There we go. Sheesh. Not expected. Alright. Cross my fingers for luck. Be right back. Woohoo! It worked. You see the headlights? Equal brightness. Chug, 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 chug. Yes! Alright, what do I need to do still? There's still a few things I need to button down. One of the mounting screws for the decoder came loose. I'll still have to put the details back in place. And there was something else. Oh, the air horns are backwards. I think they're supposed to be up here. I gotta look into that. And I need to mount the bell. I've removed the bell from the back. The long hood, I should say. So I need to drill here for the bell. Mount the bell up here, install the details, and think about what I want to do about the class lights. I think what I'm going to do is just touch them with a... be right back. Don't go away. The Molotov liquid chrome. I think just a dab with that will do it. Make it look nice and shiny. And no, it won't light up, but c'est la vie, as they say in Canada or France. I'm going to have to repaint the bell because that's maroon. And I may need to have to repaint the horns. And I wonder about the antenna, radio antenna. Oh, by the way, last evening, these come with these grills are all painted black to give depth to it. These are not painted and these are not painted, so I did both of those with some panel line accent color by Tamiya. You see that's painted black. That's not, that's not, that's not. So I'm going to do that too. I'll bring you back later when I get some more done. This is my Proto 1000 all finished. The RS-18, it has the decoder installed. The lights are working. All the CV functions are the way I like them to be set up. For example, I'll give you a brief rundown. I like to have the momentum set for 40. That's CV3 to 40. And I like the CV4, which is the decreasing speed or braking momentum, set to half of that, or 20. As far as the volume is concerned, I changed the volume settings a little bit from some of my more recent installations, so I don't recall what it was, but I generally been following now the Soundtraxx recommendation is set it so that the horn is as loud as you can stand it, and then set all the other settings, the master volume and such, according to what you like at that point, so that you don't get the breakup of the speaker on the horn sound. One of the things I was going to do, I didn't do, I'll bring you around to the front a little bit more here. I was going to make the class lights working and drill those out and put in fiber optics. I didn't. I started playing with the fiber optic material that I have, and it really wouldn't bend around enough to get into the tube that I was going to put in for the headlight and the rear light. So I realized that that was going to be more headache than I wanted to deal with. So those are not working. The number boards on this model don't work. So that is what it is. So right now all it has is headlights, backup lights, and sound. And in the future, I think what I would recommend, if I was going to do another one of these, I wouldn't take the little headlight casting out of the back and front. I would leave those clear castings in there and work with them. I think what I would use would be one of those little micro LEDs, the SMD LEDs, and glue it right to the back of the headlight casting, and then enclose that in some heat shrink. So there we are. If you like this video, I hope you leave a thumbs up down below. And if you have any suggestions or questions, you can leave them down there as well. I get to 100% of them. I don't get to them right away, but I do answer all my questions. And thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a lot of fun with your model routing out there. Bye for now.